What's going on? So, I wanted to talk about the biggest mistake doing semen retention, if you're doing it, and it's obviously not relapsing. um, it's funny because I find it very easy, but the number I'm going to tell you now, if you're thinking about relapsing, it's not worth it. I don't care who says what, it's not worth it. Now, it's all right if it happens, but you seeing this is an omen not to. And the biggest secret to this, which no one probably talks about, or I don't watch all the videos, you know what I mean? But I'm telling you from experience because that's how I've always been. I've always been real. And I'm only talking from experience unless I say otherwise. And I want to say subscribe to my channel because I'm trying to build this channel up. An authentic channel. It's always been real, but my videos have not been seen. But I'm going to be putting more pressure in, and that I'm also feeling better. And a lot of things are going to change in my life and yours. Now, that being said, the biggest key is to, not be stuck in your mind. You can only think about sex and will only think about sex when you're in your mind. So a lot of people, their problem is, because I've seen it, if I get really tired, or just the simple fact that I'm stuck in their mind, because that's where the root comes. Because if you're not in the mind, and you'll realize this when you see it happen, as if it's grabbing a hold of you, it's really not. You think about it, and then when that happens, you become addicted to ultimately busting a nut. Because once you bust a nut, you weren't thinking about busting more nuts. I know from experience, every time I've busted a nut, that it was like I didn't want to do anything with sex. I didn't want to be with the girl anymore. I didn't want to be around her necessarily. And that may not always be the case, but you're definitely not going to want to have sex anymore. And then, all the other things that will decrease. Your motivation, your aggressiveness to get something done, your energy, creativity, visualizations. These are all things I've been experiencing. Synchronicities, cohesiveness with life, and being magnetic. All these things. But more importantly, what's going to happen is why you'll think of the sex is because you're stuck in your mind. And once you get out of this, once you let that thought go, you'll have no problem on semen retention. And you'll make the life that you want to make. And you'll even make stuff for your life that you want to make on semen retention. and if at least it will put you in the right direction. But for most people, it will be very, very beneficial. There's pretty much nothing wrong with it. So the thing is like, when you think a woman's hot, it's only because you think she's hot. You're literally thinking your body into an erection. You don't just see a girl and just get an erection. You tell yourself in the head, or your head makes it up, doesn't matter which way, and you give yourself an erection from your thought. But if you step outside that thought, which this encourages and helps you to do when you retain your seed, big time. That's why people. That's the ultimate reason. The reason. So one of the ultimate reason monks and people in religions and just vice versa become celibate. Of course, I fucking messed up that word. Celibate. I think it's a weird word. That's why I messed it up. The reason that they become celibate is for them to attain realization, which some call it Mosca, they call it Nirvana. It definitely helps that, and it does other things. But the number one goal is to be free from your thoughts, and this encourages encourages this a lot. And so, for example, I'm going to give you an example of mine real quick in this video, because I could go about talking about this for a bunch of times. I don't want to run it into the ground. And there's a bunch of different ways of talking about this and ways to go about it. Few. That being said, so when you see pictures on social media and on a screen, it's totally different. You get tricked into it easier. So when you see stuff on a screen, it's harder than it is seeing a woman in real life. It's even harder when you're around a lot of people, not to get caught up in that. So, which is like, turning yourself on. You basically turn yourself on when you're stuck in that dimension. You turn yourself stuck in that thought, we can say, just for mishaps. You turn yourself on to the thought that you had of the attraction to this woman's thought. Because you're also, let's just say you see someone who's fat and ugly. You're also judging them fat and ugly. But it's harder when you see it through a screen and through a movie, especially porn, because it's just approached differently, and you get subdued into the mind way quicker, or can. So how I see things at times, I see photos, and they're all the girls, pretty much 99% of the girls are always posting of themselves, of trying to get your attention. I mean, they're always doing. That's why they're always getting their best photo. You always see their best photo. They always have makeup on. Now there's filters. They always want to give you the best. Their photo is just like the best photo they could take. That's not the person you want. It's not, because that person's not being genuine. That's for a different topic all in itself, but I'm not here to talk about that. That's fine. We don't even need to approach that in any way. But we just see the picture as it is. And then you won't have no sexual thoughts. Same with when you see women pass you. You're thinking that woman's attractive instead of just seeing that woman. Then there is no attraction. You're just seeing them. And that goes with anything in life. So that's all I have for this video. That's how I see things when I'm in that state. Hence, you can get in that state very easily too. So the reason why you're relapsing, I see a lot of people on forums, and they be like, oh, especially like Reddit, they'll be like, oh, it's so hard for the temptations. Temptation starting the mind. You created your own temptation, and you held on to it instead of seeing the person just for how it is. It's not like the freaking women were jumping over them on you or something. And even still, you can bypass that very easily. But people struggle and make it hard. So that's why I'm here. Have a nice day. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you want to hear. We discuss anything. Have a nice day.